Bitcoin is in a critical place right now, and I think it's going to give us a big hint for if we're going to be able to recover this thing up or if we are crashing down. So that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, so you watched the last video, you're going to know that one of the key things I was looking for, one of the things that I said would be the best possible scenario for Bitcoin in this market right now, is if Bitcoin can retrace from here back down into the $42,000 range, potentially find support, and then attack the levels higher. This, in my opinion, is the single best thing that Bitcoin could be doing right now. So I'm so happy that that is the case. And by the way, before I get into all of this, the camera has now been moved from the bottom right to the bottom left. So if you think that that's a good idea, go ahead, do me a favor and smash up the likes on this video. But let's get straight into this. You guys know that this channel is all about realistic analysis, right? And so one of the key things that I aim to do here is talk to you about what the market realistically likes to do. And that does not mean moving up in a straight line, but instead moving up, forming a retracement, a staircase step, and then continuing its trend up. This is the backbone of the prediction that I was making yesterday. I said it in passing. It wasn't a big idea that I discussed yesterday because honestly, I didn't think that it was super likely to happen. But what we're having right now is that this area, which was previously a good area of consolidation, a good area of resistance actually for the market, is now potentially getting ready to turn into support. Now, we don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but if it is the case, we could be looking at Bitcoin, finding support at a very critical level and then potentially getting ready to trade higher. And to me, that's a really good sign, right? Because essentially what we're doing here is we're setting a low right here at about, $40,000, potentially a second low at about $42,000, $41,000, and then getting ready to trend even higher. To me, that is very exciting. And unfortunately, the webcam still won't work, so I will continue working. The thing is every time I try this, I test it extensively and it works completely fine, and then it doesn't. So a very annoying issue. But the key thing here is that we could be looking at a retracement because of, this area of support potentially helping bolster the market a little bit higher. I don't think that we're going to be seeing much support at all from our key indicators, but, one of the key things that I do want to show you is, for example, the 1 hour Ichimoku cloud. Actually, there is a nice cloud right here. We ended up breaking out of the resistance cloud and potentially have a little bit of support to enjoy right here. I suppose one of the bigger problems, though, is that as we do zoom out, we are going to be seeing quite a bit more resistance in this range higher up, right? And this is the same thing that I was warning about, is that overall I can't be too optimistic about this range because there's so much resistance up ahead, right? The 4 hour time frame right here really just not looking great for Bitcoin in terms of where this resistance is on the chart. But of course, when we zoom in, we have already started to reverse this trend. So this is just something that I want to put on your radar so that we're all very aware of it. If we are aware of the support and then Bitcoin bounces up, of course, we can't be surprised by it. And that's always, step number one as a trader and an analyst, is you never ever want to be surprised by what's happening in the market, because it means that you're probably screwing up a million more things in the background that you don't know about. So to me, that is very important. Now, if we do end up finding support here, then like I said, resistance is going to be higher up in this range, stretching all the way up to $56,000 with the 1 day EMA ribbon as well, which is definitely something that I think is going to be problematic for Bitcoin right now. However, I am pretty optimistic about Bitcoin's abilities to break into those resistance ranges if we do indeed find support here, because really what's happening here, just to break this down on a more psychological level, is that the market had a chance to run up right here where the bulls were displaying their strength, and right now the bears are having a chance to display their strength. And overall, of course, if we zoom out, I shouldn't have to tell you this, the bears are very much in control within this trend right now. I mean, we've been trending down for a very long time. Since we set the all-time high at $69,000 to today, we're still effectively in a downtrend 64 days and 38% later, right? So bears very much still in control. But what's happening here on these smaller time frames when this kind of price action takes place is that the bulls are now being given a chance to actually seize control back of the market, and for the bears to actually display a little bit of weakness, right? So at the moment, we're getting this pullback. This is showing us that actually people aren't so sure of the price action, but here's the key thing to keep in mind. If the price actually gets bought up in this range, what the market is effectively saying, and this is so important because it allows us to, kind of formulate ideas of what might happen next. So that's why I cover these things, so that we have a very deep intimate understanding of the market. What the market will be saying if it gets bought up over here and begins rallying up higher from these kind of price levels is it's essentially going to be telling us that whereas previously in this very same price range, people were not very bullish on Bitcoin, and so as a result we were dipping down. Right now, because something has changed and people are just getting ready to re-enter a bull market, or perhaps even more importantly, we're just losing a little bit of that bearish bias right now because we've trended down for so long, and some of that a lot of that selling pressure, that supply pressure has now been exhausted, and so you've only got buyers remaining. That shows us that actually we're ready to entertain a pattern of higher lows and so on, which is of course very, very powerful, and to me that is quite exciting. Now the issue is that if we lose this area of support, we're going to be right back into the range below this box. And let me just mute these notifications because my phone is always going absolutely crazy. We're going to be entering the range below this box, and the problem here is that below $42,000 there isn't really any support until 40,000. That's why every time we dipped below this box we fell down very, very quickly, right? Look at this. It was generally extremely, we're on the 1 hour time frame right here, so these times, I mean, we dipped down within an hour, and these times it was only a matter of hours that Bitcoin dropped down, basically showing us that this is a dangerous area, right? Anything that happens below this green box is pretty dangerous for the market, in my opinion. And so if we do end up losing this level, I would have to imagine that $40,000 gets tested again. That was always my prediction, and obviously the first couple of times I was wrong about that, but eventually we did end up hitting that price level at 40k that I was looking for, and so these were just little fake outs. And the thing is because now we've already been here, I would expect, pardon me, that we're just going to travel back down there very, very quickly if we do actually get the breakout downwards. And to me, obviously, that would be quite concerning in this market at the moment. And the thing is that, see, that the $40,000 level is definitely a fairly strong area of support, in my opinion, right? I mean, I've covered this with you guys in the previous video, so I don't want to talk about it too much in this one. Of course, if you didn't watch it, it's probably because you're not subscribed. It's probably because you're not engaging with these videos, hitting up the likes and so on. So definitely make sure that you do go ahead and do that so you don't miss out on this amazing level-headed, grounded analysis, really trying to bring the voice of reason onto YouTube, because so many other voices on this platform are so sensationalist. And look, I get it, the titles, thumbnails and so on, they don't exactly give off that impression, but of course I got to play the game. This is YouTube, so hopefully you guys can understand and respect that. But the value, the content here, absolutely top notch. So just go back and watch the previous video if you don't fully know why the 40k level is so important in my opinion. But for that reason, I don't necessarily expect it to break on only a potential second test. But look, put it this way, we had a nice rally to the upside. It would be a real shame if we lost this progress, and that's why I really want to see this box holding, and it's why I'm actually fairly optimistic. I mean, if you take a look at the dump down, if we just look at the volume right here, we actually saw, the big spike in volume happening just on the first big candle down. But after that, even as we're, dumping into this very range, we're not getting a huge volume spike at the moment. So, we're not seeing a lot of, trading action behind this move. Now, granted, we don't need a lot of volume. I just want to make this very, very clear to you. Like over here, see when Bitcoin is crashing down, there was a nice volume spike right here. But afterwards, when Bitcoin continued down, there was another volume spike, but it just wasn't as big as last time. Look, broadly speaking, we don't need it, right? I mean, even on this big dip here where Bitcoin actually fell down into the 40k range, when the dip initiated, volume didn't do anything crazy at all on the red side. So I'm absolutely not saying that we need strong volume for a sell-off to stick. However, it can be one sign that shows us that the sell-off is strong, and at the moment we don't have it. We don't have that sign showing us that the sell-off is strong. And so as we approach a support level, I want to start being a little bit more optimistic, at least in the short term. The other thing that I want to throw on your radar right now is just something to show you the Fibonacci retracement that I'm seeing on this chart right here. I think this is a very important tool to be using in the market when we start getting retracements, and it's showing us that we could be looking at a little bit of support at about 41.4k right here. This is the 0.618 Fibonacci level, and the reason that I'm putting this on your radar right here is that the 382 level, which is the mirror of the 618 level has already been respected pretty nicely, right? And so if we end up rising back up, this is definitely an area to expect a little bit of resistance. No surprise there, because we were actually already finding resistance here just over the past couple of days. So actually what I'm saying already proven to be correct. But that also means that, you know, generally if the 382 level is respected, we can expect the 618 level to be respected as well. So look, I wouldn't want to see Bitcoin dropping all the way down to the bottom of this range in order to find support. That to me would not be a very good sign of strength. I would like it to find support at a higher up level in this range. I'm sorry, everything is just going fucking crazy today. But hopefully, you know, being able to find support in this range, and if not, like I said, that Fibonacci retracement could be what sends this trend higher. And I just want to, you know, kind of prove to you why I'm saying this right here, right? I mean, if we take a look at some of the dips, I'm sure we can see a nice Fibonacci right here. I haven't actually looked at this before the video, so this is going to be a little bit of live analysis. But yeah, there we go. Look at that beautiful bounce off the 0.5 level. It's not quite the 618 Fibonacci that I was looking at, but we did get a bounce off the 618 Fibonacci level right here. So these numbers, they really do work. They're very, very powerful in these markets, and that's why I'm paying attention to them. I mean, just take a look at this, right? How you know, the market drops down, finds support at the 382 line, finds resistance at the 236 line, and then drops down again, finds resistance at 382, finds support at 0.5, and then it's off to the races. You know, I mean, it really does prove to be true a lot of the time. Let's throw another Fibonacci retracement on the breakout from 20k to 42, and again, look at that, we're finding support at the 0.5 Fibonacci line right there. And actually, as I speak right now, I'm pretty sure that we are at a 0.5 Fibonacci level just on this very, very short-term chart as well. So you know, I'm only throwing this stuff your way so that you can just, you know, again, be aware of the facts. Look at this, we're trading at the 0.5 level right now, actually still actively dropping, which isn't really a huge sign of confidence, but it is one of the tools which I do like to use in these markets. And again, as long as this sell-off isn't showing me signs of being very strong, because it's not, I want to stay optimistic until and unless Bitcoin loses this green box range. Now again, we're just flirting on the edge of it, so it's a very, very tense time in the market right now. But you know, like I said, I mean, this area does stretch down a little bit further. The 618 level is actually even below this box. If I have to, you know, if I draw it down a little bit more, I'd say the bottom of this box right now is where that 618 crucial level is. So again, I don't want to see us penetrating this deep into support, but it is still support nonetheless, and so it's worth you know, being aware of, because I think that a lot of people, you know, here's the thing is, you know, I talk about how the market really tries to aim to hurt a lot of people in the market. I mean, that's just what markets do. They're very efficient at hurting people. You know, one of the key ways that the markets achieve that is they constantly send the market lower, and then they give you these glimmers of hope, and then they smack you right back down again. And you know, when enough people have been smacked back down and they stop believing in the long-term viability of the market, we start seeing things like the fear and greed index reflecting that on a consistent basis, right? So yet another day where we're at extreme fear with a reading of 21. I mean, we've just literally, look at this, we've stabilized at these levels of extreme fear right now. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. The market is so bearish in terms of sentiment right now, which is exactly what I was looking for. I hate to put this on your radar, but this is how it looked last time when we were in that big consolidation range throughout roughly the middle of last year. I absolutely do not expect that we're going to be looking at a range that takes this long, and to be fair, we've already been around levels of extreme fear since pretty much the end of November. We had a brief phase where we were pushing up to neutral levels towards the end of December last year, but for the most part, I mean, we have now been in a shitty range, just straight up. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This has been a shitty range for about a month and a half now, in my opinion, potentially even a little bit longer. And this one right here lasted from the 14th of May all the way up to about the end of July. So similar kind of time frames. This was a little bit longer by about 1 month. I absolutely don't think that we're going to be you know, feeling shit like this for another month, and the primary reason for that, which I've been talking about for a long time, and this is where, again, like, technical analysis is nuanced, right? Like, I'm not here to you know, rub my crystal ball and tell you Bitcoin's going to 500k and stick my fucking my finger up my nose. You know, that's not what I'm here to do. You know, but at the same time, we need to be able to understand that, you know, the long-term trend can be telling us one thing, and the short-term trend can be telling us another, and the mid-term trend can be telling us another, and we We need to be able to put all of these things in perspective properly. And if you don't already know about that, then that is something which I teach about very, very thoroughly inside of the 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗧 Academy course, because one of the best things you can do for yourself is have a very strong idea of what's going on in the market, so that when you look at the chart, you instantly know where we are and why we are here. And that is a skill which you can develop. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where obviously I can look at any chart, and you guys see me doing this on live streams, where if I look at a chart for the first time, most of the time I can pretty quickly understand exactly what state the market is in, and by extension what it might do next, with a little bit more clarity than the average person, or ideally a lot more clarity than the average person. So I'm teaching all of that inside of the 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗧 VIP group, where you know, depending on which membership you take, most people who join will be getting free access into one of the 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗧 Academy courses that I recorded, where I teach you everything I know about trading and analysis from A to Z. And of course, like I said, you get that in conjunction with your VIP membership for free. So not only are you going to learn that stuff, you're going to watch me integrating those very same lessons. And the way to join is by clicking on the first link in the description down below, then the @4flies button, and then the send message button. Just by following these 3 quick clicks on screen, you'll get all the information. It's the only way to join 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗧 VIP, by the way. Don't bother searching for my name on Telegram and so on, because you're only going to come across impersonators. You won't find the real me. So this, I think, very, very important right here. You know, like I said, you know, broadly speaking, I do still think that we are in an uptrend, and because of that, you know, look, here's the thing, is that the rally up to 65K the first time, I mean, it pretty much started at like $8,000-9,000 way back. Let me just see if I can show it to you. It's hard to even show it to you on the chart, but it's roughly where this blue circle is. Right around over here is where the whole rally started, at about, I mean, this is like, yeah, $10,000, and it ended at 65. I mean, there were, you know, little bursts of kind of, you know, consolidation and small pullbacks right here, but for the most part, it didn't really stop until 65K, and I think that's why we had such a disgusting bearish rally following it. But then after that, we had a more controlled rally, right? This first leg was really, really nice, and we got a very, very good reversal. I mean, literally just a perfect reversal, but then the next leg was too aggressive, which is what I was warning about on the channel. So again, being the voice of reason here, even when everyone is thinking one thing, that's not going to taint my perspective. I'm still going to tell you exactly what I'm seeing in this market, and sometimes I'm seeing the, you know, polar opposite, or actually most of the time I'm seeing the polar opposite of what most other people are seeing, because, you know, I'm not trying to be one of the bottom 90% of traders who lose money. And, you know, I think that's a very, very important thing to keep in mind at the moment, because, you know, we didn't have, I mean, this was quite an explosive rally, but overall this leg wasn't as crazy as the first leg that Bitcoin had, where it pulled like literally a 6.5 times return within, I mean, you know, not a very long space of time, maybe like 6 months, right? It didn't actually take very long for Bitcoin to do that. But this time, we didn't see such a crazy rally, right? Like the market only went from about 29K all the way up to 69K, which is, yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's a fairly large $40,000 move. However, one second, let's keep going. However, you know, one thing that I think is worth noting is that instead, you know, we've now had a very, very big correction. And, you know, generally what these kind of things mean is, obviously, if we're being suppressed so much because the market is so emotional, obviously eventually that pressure does need to cave, and that's where big explosions can happen to the upside. And that's why overall I'm still maintaining that bullish perspective regardless of what's happening in the market, because I just don't think that this market is indeed in a bear market, for the simple fact that too many fucking idiots are saying it. You know, that alone is a good enough reason for me to know that we're not in a bear market. And of course, I've seen this kind of stuff playing out a million times before, so it's nothing out of the ordinary for Bitcoin to do extremely irrational, annoying, and saddening things like this within an existing bull market. And it's just that this one is being especially harsh, but of course that means when the sun shines, it shines very, perhaps even too bright, and that is something that I want you guys to keep in mind as I close off this video. So if you are interested in trading on the same exchange that I'm using, then check out Bybit with the link in the description down below. You're going to get up to $4,100 for free when you sign up using my link in the description, and that is a time limited offer, so take advantage of it right now. If you want that free money, you literally lose nothing. You get to trade on the very same exchange I use. If you are trading in certain places around the world, you will need a VPN, and obviously I can't endorse that. I've done it before. Actually, I've done it every time. However, you do it all at your own risk. And if you do want to jump inside of 𝗬𝗏𝗡's VIP, then click on the first link in the description down below. That's going to take you to my free Telegram channel where I give you even more analysis on these markets completely free of charge. And then click on the @𝗬𝗏𝗡s button at the bottom of any post inside of 𝗬𝗏𝗡s Gold to then click on send message and ask me how to join 𝗬𝗏𝗡s VIP. So one last time, you get up to 4.1k just for being a fan of this channel by signing up to Bybit using my link in the description and making your first Bitcoin deposit, and that can take you less than 10 minutes, and then of course you can jump into VIP again within less than 10 minutes just by following these steps on screen. So I'll see you all in the very next video. Hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell. I'm very sorry for the technical issues. Believe me, I've tried fixing them so many times. I just can't seem to work it out. I'm feeling like an absolute boomer at the moment who can't get around technology, which is shameful for me because I'm 20 years old. However, I promise you I will fix it. I'm actively working on it, but for now, you're just going to have to do without seeing my face. So anyway, guys, hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the very next one. Bye-bye.